Picture this. You arrive at work early, or maybe you're just going to the grocery store, and lo and behold, there's a parking place right up front. Ah, is this your lucky day? Do you zoom into that parking place? Or do you pick one a little further away so that you can get some extra steps on your pedometer? After all, that's the healthy choice, right? Yes, I am a cancer survivor, 2 times, by the way. Well, the first time when I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's, I was still in that um, invincible, my family lives to a ripe old age, we don't die mentality. And I didn't know what Hodgkin's disease was. As a matter of fact, when they told me what it was, I asked the doctor, how do you spell that? And it was overwhelming. The first time around, I just went through the motions to get well and to hurry up and get well so I could get back to my life. This second time around, when I was diagnosed, my husband was with me, and a little fear crept in. And I even said out of my mouth to him, I don't want to die. And it made me begin to think about how I live my life and my health and the way that I take care of myself, which up until recently had not been very good. You know, when I was diagnosed with cancer the second time, I saw something that I didn't see the first time, was how devastated my family was and how fearful they were of whether I was going to be around or not. And I never thought about that before. Thank goodness they don't have to worry about me dying from cancer. And I want to make sure that they don't have to be devastated because of a heart attack or a stroke. And so I'm working to be a better mom. I have a brand new grandbaby who's a month and a half old, a better wife, and a better mentor to the women that I work with that are in recovery. I'm cooking better, eating better, feeling great. Workouts are awesome. I love the gym, and my life is good, and I'm happy. I couldn't prevent my cancer, but I can prevent heart disease. I do choose to live and not die.
You registered for Go Red for Women, and you get this great pin. You wear it, of course, right? So you're standing in the line at the grocery store, and you notice somebody eyeing that pin. Do you make the choice to educate them, or do you just ignore them and go on with the rest of your day? I had gone to Florida on vacation with my children, and found that I had time to exercise, which doesn't really happen in normal life. So I ran on the beach every morning. And the third morning, after my run, and I was feeling very good and happy and life was good, and noticed this gentleman who walked with a cane. He had a brace on his foot and carried his arm, and I figured he had probably had a stroke. And I walked up to him and I said, hey, what happened to you? What'd you do to yourself? And he looked at me and he said, I had a stroke. And I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. I had a stroke 4 years ago. I really thought his stroke was recent because he had so many obvious disabilities from it. And he looked at me for the longest time with this look that I will just never forget because it bore to my soul. And finally, when he did speak, he said, my stroke was 7 years ago. You have no idea how lucky you are. And I thought about that the rest of the day, about how lucky I am to be able to raise my 3 boys and to be able to function in life because so many people are not. I had in my inbox, when I checked my email that evening, an invitation to run a marathon, to raise money for stroke research. But I kept thinking about this man that I'd met on the beach and what he'd said to me about how lucky I am. I'm running for me. I'm running for the man on the beach. I'm running for stroke survivors everywhere. I choose to speak up and not remain silent.
A friend asked you to donate to the American Heart Association, but just last week your washing machine broke, your vehicle tags are due this month, and you bought all your son's school raffle tickets because he was too shy to ask the neighbors. You know your gift to the American Heart Association would help save lives. Do you still choose to give? Hi, I'm Tracy. This is my husband Toby, my son Tyler, he's 9, and this is my daughter Tori, she's 6. Tori, tell him how old you, or how many surgeries you've had.
11.
She was born a healthy baby, and on her 3-month checkup, we took her in for a well baby exam, and after the examination, our pediatrician heard a murmur. Once she got the doctors to explain to her what was going on, they said, you guys need to be together because you're gonna need each other. Got to the hospital, the doctors came in and said, well, after looking at your daughter's heart, she's missing her heart valve, and she also has a hole in her heart. You know, we said, you know, what do we do? He's like, well, she's gonna need open heart surgeries.
20 years ago, if Tori would have been born with this heart condition, our story would have been completely different. We wouldn't have our Christmases. We wouldn't have our first day of schools. We wouldn't have a lot of the things that we get to do every day that a lot of families take for granted. Without the American Heart Association and the research that they're doing and the money that's being raised, we wouldn't have just our everyday family time. We wouldn't be able to be our family. We choose to give.
I hope you do too.